The Democrats' Hakeem Jeffries, who's calling for the left to fight Trump not just legislatively, that's a big word, but also in the streets. He wants them to fight Trump in the streets. It all sounds a bit insurrection-y to me.
We're going to fight it in the streets.
A few moments later.
The end of the night, the protest was declared unlawful by police.
Do you consider this lawful? In some states, they would not allow this, to actually block an entire intersection like this, block a road, block traffic from coming through. At this point, this looks unlawful to me, but we're in California. And where are the police? Look.
Welcome back. You're watching Outsiders with your hosts, Rowan Dean, James Morrow, and I'm Rita Panahi. You may have seen me on such programs as The Rita Panahi Show, Monday to Thursdays at 11, and Lefties Losing It, Fridays at 9. And right now we're going to take a look at the top 5 Lefties Losing It moments of the week. Let's start with the stage full of delusional losers competing to be the next chair of the Democratic National Committee. Let's see if they can figure out why Kamala lost so badly despite outspending Trump 3-1 and enjoying the support of Hollywood, the entire celebrity and activist class.
I have a show of hands. How many of you believe that racism and misogyny played a role in Vice President Harris's defeat? Okay. So that's good. You all passed.
Yes, you all passed for being delusional dimwits. Next up, we saw the demise of Jim Acosta, one of the worst of the fake news machinery, a man whose Trump derangement syndrome, well, had him reduced to a blabbering idiot on a regular basis.
Don't give in to the lies. Don't give in to the fear. Hold on to the truth and to hope. Even if you have to get out your phone, record that message. I will not give in to the lies. I will not give in to the fear. Post it on your social media.
Yes, please do that. That's where I get all my Lefties Losing It content from, when idiots record themselves and then post it on social media. It's a winning formula. As for not giving into the lies, Jimmy, you pushed every lie, every anti-Trump hoax there was. Here's old Acosta pushing the Fine People hoax and 2 fresh ones during the election campaign, the Liz Cheney and the bloodbath hoaxes.
An alarming choice for a man who has often struggled to unequivocally denounce white supremacists. You recall these moments.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
Those words have power. They have meaning. And when Donald Trump speaks, the world listens. Neo-Nazis and white supremacists certainly listen. So why can't he denounce them? Why can't he reject their support?
And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
What's your response to Donald Trump saying she should be fired, that Liz Cheney should be fired upon? He keeps speaking in these very extreme terms about the potential dangers to the country if he doesn't win in November. He's used words like bloodbath.
Goodbye and good riddance, Jimmy. Now to another member of the media who got his marching orders this week, NBC's Chuck Todd. This is the man who rails against so-called misinformation. It keeps him up at night. But he told his ever-diminishing audience that the whole Hunter Biden laptop saga was discredited Russian propaganda. Here's this week's number 3.
Instead of Roger Stone and WikiLeaks, it's Rudy Giuliani and some computer guy in Delaware. So this didn't work, so he'll try another planted story or another, Russian, use some other, discredited Russian propaganda. And for those of you spreading misinformation, shame on you. Shame on you. I don't know how some of you sleep at night who are doing this for a living on television.
Oh, we'll miss you and your lies, Todd. Now, coming in at number 2 of Lefties Losing It for the week is the Democrats' Hakeem Jeffries, who's calling for the left to fight Trump not just legislatively, that's a big word, but also in the streets. He wants them to fight Trump in the streets. It all sounds a bit insurrection-y to me.
We are going to fight it legislatively. We are going to fight it in the courts. And we're going to fight it in the streets.
A few moments later.
Breaking news, breaking news. Massive ICE protest, National City, California. Come on in, folks. We're going to talk about these ICE protests that are starting to pop up around the country. There was a massive protest yesterday, National City, California. This was the scene, and we have some footage here we're going to share because these protests keep popping up. Last weekend there was a massive protest in front of ICE in Dallas. I'm hearing that there's going to be a protest in Santa Barbara, California, on the ICE protesting in other communities across the country. They are protesting, and this is what you got. Massive amount of people in the streets waving Mexican flags. We'll share. What in the world is going on here, people? As the Trump administration vows to conduct the biggest mass deportation in United States history, announcement was made today by Trump talking about the Venezuelan president accepting everyone from Venezuela back to their country that crossed into this country illegally. A lot of Venezuelans. And this is an aerial footage of a protest. We're going to get more information about this and bring awareness to this. I do feel that this will escalate. I do not think this is just this week or two and then go away. As we are seeing that the Trump administration vows to ramp up their deportations. ICE just posted on Twitter that they deported or they arrested 800 or so people in the last 24 hours. Those numbers are significantly lower than this so-called quota that was set up where the Trump administration wants to arrest 1,800 a day, 75 per 25 ICE field offices. Now, National City, it's rocking. Look at this. It's pretty rocking. Looks like people are blocking traffic, people on motorcycles, massive protests. Share this video out. We're going to bring public awareness. We're also going to talk about the proposal that Trump said about deportations when it comes to violent criminals, possibly going to Guantanamo Bay. Gitmo. This also comes where a lot of immigration rights activists and groups have been sharing literature and messages out to people saying, know your rights and know what to do and know what to say. So I think it's kicking off, as you see here, and I do not think this is going to go away. I think it's going to escalate. Kristi Noem, the Department of Homeland Security secretary, who we're going to play a clip. She's decked out in Border Patrol gear and everything like that. She's up at the border in Canada and U.S. border Swanton sector, a place that we've been up to. As we heard a few days ago, tragedy happened where a Border Patrol agent was murdered in the Swanton sector by a group, actually that originated from California. This is big, folks. So I just want to kind of give you the glimpse here of, what's to come. I do think that these protests will grow, particularly on as it starts to get warmer in the spring. A lot of people don't like to go out in the cold, but the weather's right. Look, Mexican flags here. Look, Mexican flags on cars. Standing on cars, Mexican flags. Massive protest here, folks. Look at this. I do think that on the weekends that this will continue to ramp up. Saturdays and Sundays. Look at the people on the roofs of the car. Now, that's probably one of the people's, I don't think there's like going on regular people's cars like that. I think that's probably a vehicle affiliated with this group. But it's getting pretty interesting out there, you know. Are we on the George Floyd type of, look at that. See what I'm saying? Burnouts. Look at that. Are we on this rioting level like George Floyd protests around the country? Are we going to go to that level? The rioting? Does this resort to violence? Some states, they wouldn't allow this. Look on both sides there. Look on to the left and in the middle. They're massively blocking traffic here. Looks like it's by the Walmart National City. Let me look up. I saw a Walmart sign right there. So it looks like it's right in front of the Walmart National City. National City Walmart. Are we talking about Highland Avenue? Could be. Could be. National City, which if you guys are not familiar with, National City is basically a little south of San Diego. It's like Chula Vista, place that we've been to extensively, covering the border down there by Tijuana, San Isidro, all that area, all the way out to Cumba, California, T-Gate, all along the southern border there. But this is a lot of people probably were in this group or know someone that should not be in the country, and they are protesting. So, you know, this is a topic that we know extensively about. We still don't know it all. What we learn, we pay attention, we see where these protests and rallies occur. Laguna Berry says, I think they are just making it easy for ICE to round them up. Not a smart decision. Well, Laguna Berry, you do have a point, because ICE should see where these people are popping out, out and protesting, and know it's probably the neighborhoods around where this is occurring. Probably the neighborhoods, right? Around there where people shouldn't be here, or people already got their deportation orders. Remember, folks, according to politicians, they're saying 1.4 million have already gotten the orders from an immigration judge to be deported, but they didn't get deported. So they're all scattered around the country. Bob Cox says, geofencing activated. Geofencing. Get all the phones. Get all the digital footprints. Every one of those people there probably called somebody on the phone, or an illegal themselves. I don't know if, you know, the people that should not be here, I don't know if they would be smart enough to go out there in the middle of these groups. I think this could be more sympathizers or family members. You know, birthright citizenship and different DACA and different things like that, programs like that. Possibly, you know, family members, you know, here. I don't know. But what I do know is what I've been seeing in Southern California, which is interesting. A lot of clips are coming out. A lot of people are scattering around, staying indoors. Case in point, a lot of videos I've been seeing about like Home Depot and Lowe's. Those places are completely empty. Walmarts in Southern California, empty. Like everyone is kind of maybe just like scattering or hiding. Do you consider this violent here? Do you consider this lawful? In some states, they would not allow this, to actually block an entire intersection like this. Block a road, block traffic from coming through. At this point, this looks unlawful to me. But we're in California. And where are the police? Look at the guy, literally a car parked in the middle of the road, and you got a guy dancing on top of this white SUV. He's dancing. dancing on the white SUV. Highland Avenue, yes. So it's at the Walmart. You see the sign, Highland Avenue. So it's at the Walmart, Highland Avenue, National City, between Chula Vista and San Diego, right off I-5. Organized protest where they announce the days in advance, or is this a pop-up protest? Like those pop-up parties. Pop-up protest or something that has been organized.
You can see hundreds of protesters who have gathered on Highland in National City. They got here late this afternoon, and many of them found out about this protest on social media.
The sounds echoed by protesters symbolize solidarity with the immigrant community. As one protester climbed a light pole and hoisted a Mexican flag, those around him cheered on, carrying signs opposing the recent ICE raids and Trump administration immigration policies.
We make America great. We are here. We do so much for this country.
As the protest unfolded, a fight broke out, prompting other protesters to intervene and break it up. From the air, you can see protesters filling the streets and blocking traffic as motorcycles performed donuts, adding a dramatic and attention-grabbing element to the demonstration. Police responded to the scene but didn't intervene, instead just closing off the streets. The signs read, "Don't bite the hand that feeds you."
I'm tired of politicians talking about Mexicanos. I'm tired. If it wasn't for us, this economy would be in the tank. And let them deport them.
And no ICE in schools.
I'm a teacher, and I will fight like hell for my students. We are trained to protect our students, and of course we are going to protect our students.
Other signs said they're here for their parents who immigrated. Even students from San Diego State came in support.
Trump and all of his people are spreading this dangerous rhetoric that all immigrants are terrible people and that people are coming here to just commit crime, and it's completely against the facts.
Some spoke about having friends or family members who are worried that they're going to be deported.
They're deporting people that are hardworking people. I've seen people that are street vendors and getting deported. Those aren't criminals.
This is what's fueling the protests, where community activists and even children gathered.
There were also people out here spreading information about immigrants' legal rights, on here telling them what they should do just in case an ICE agent comes to their home or place of business. Elizabeth Sanchez, CBS 8.
Meanwhile,
Fireworks, motorcycles, and an eventual street takeover. Towards the end of the night, the protest was declared unlawful by police.
Meanwhile,
and we're going to fight it in the streets.
flashback.
This is a new Congress. The American people need us as their elected representatives in this season to put down our partisan swords and pick up bipartisan plowshares. It's time for us to come together, not as Democrats or Republicans, but as Americans, to get things done for the people.
But the clear number one of lefties losing it is singer and actress Selena Gomez for this unintentionally hilarious performance. Enjoy.
I just want to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. The children. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I promise.
Anyways, topics today are going to be great. First and foremost, the mass deportations of illegals is reaching peak comedy right now in the United States of America. We have Selena Gomez crying on Instagram Trump fans are celebrating. All right, guys, we are going to start with Selena Gomez because it's funny and we all need to have some funny on a Monday. First and foremost, the backstory of all of this leading to this moment. Obviously, we are all following this. It's hard to avoid in the news. Essentially, I know some of you guys disagree with me politically, but Trump is in fact delivering on the mandate to round up illegals. And I also want to say at the top of this, I like Selena Gomez. I was a huge Wizards of Waverly Place stan. I'm happy for her that she has found love again and is getting married to Benny Blanco, I think his name is. So I'm not a Selena Gomez hater. I think it's a little annoying that she's always like, I need a social media break every 2 weeks. And I also don't think she's the greatest singer. I prefer her as an actress, but all around, like, I'm rooting for her. I want things to be good for her, like I do for all of these child actors that seem to go off course. But yes, Trump, one of the mandates, one of the reasons that we did vote for him was to round up illegals, adios amigos, au revoir Haitians. It is what it is. And it is, in fact, exactly what we wanted. I'm sorry. I cannot sugarcoat that for you guys. I can't lie to you. We are tired of the crimes that shouldn't be happening, first and foremost. Like, there's nothing more infuriating than turning on the news and learning that some young girl, college student, lost her life and was killed by someone who shouldn't be here. There's nothing more infuriating than having to pay taxes and learning that the taxes that you don't want to be paying are going to people that are not citizens of this country. Okay, so anyways, we've been seeing the footage nonstop of criminals getting rounded up immediately. Trump got to work. And the best part of this, by the way, is that we are learning their rap sheets. And we are learning that these individuals are child rapists. Our federal government knew where these child rapists were living. And essentially, the Biden admin told them, you're not allowed to round them up. Okay, I guess, I don't know what this is a part of. We're accepting, we're loving. They knew where these criminals were. And it took Trump getting into office and tomhoman devising a plan to start rounding them up. It is mind-boggling. And what is incredible is that when we see them rounded up and they're caught on camera for these ride-alongs and they're asked questions, they're rude. They're confident. They're angry that, that Trump's in office and they're talking trash, zero respect for the law, and they want us to know how little they respect the law. Take, for example, this Haitian migrant. This was caught in a Fox News ride-along. Incredible rap sheet. Truly such a criminal. Watch this clip from Fox News, which took place, by the way, this roundup in Boston.
I'm not going back to Haiti. One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
So again, for the people who have different politics from me that watch this show, maybe just for the culture element, when you hear that, when you hear someone that has a rap sheet and has 17 crimes have been committed, right? 17 in this country. And we are talking about violent crimes that have been committed. And he's just like, thank you, Biden. I love you and I hate Trump. How does it actually make you feel? Seriously, does it make you convert a little bit in your mind? Maybe we'll get you there. Anyways, this is what we were expecting. What we were also expecting was the emotional side of the argument, because immediately when Trump's in office, then we start being told, what about the children? These families, we're breaking up families. That guy right there, he might be a felon, but he's also a father. That seems to be the argument that I at least see being made all the time this year, breaking up families. And look at this child crying for his mommy or his daddy. And that argument in particular drives me insane because for years, it's, guys, that's what happens when you break the law. Doesn't matter whether you're a citizen or you're not a citizen. If you break the law, okay, let's say you're just a random guy who shoots someone, you go to prison, you get separated from your family. That's a consequence. Actions sometimes have to meet their consequences. And, that's on the parent to not do that to their child, not for society to say, well, I know he killed 10 people, but we're not going to put him in prison because how unfair would it be for their child? I mean, that's nuts, right? And so you have these sappy arguments, and I will say that they do not work on me in particular when I am as pregnant as I am at this moment, but they do always seem to find a home in Hollywood. Celebrities love a good sappy argument. They are incredible at being emotionally swayed. They are the best, very easily emotionally swayed. Apparently not when illegal murders a young woman like Laken Riley, but definitively when they start hearing that families are being separated. So Selena Gomez, okay? she hopped up onto Instagram and she started crying about the mass deportations of Mexicans, presumably because she's Mexican. And so she felt compelled. I'm sure maybe she was getting pressure from people in the comments that were saying, you're Mexican, so you have to take a stance on this and say that it's wrong for people to have to face any consequences for breaking the law. And so she did that. She obliged and she started crying on her Instagram page. We're going to roll that clip for you right now.
I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting tapped. Children. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I promise.
I'm not laughing, you're laughing. So first and foremost, it's funny first of all, she was a little Mexican flag, something like, I don't know. Everybody like loves a flag during debates, it's like a Ukrainian flag, an Israel flag, and now we got a Mexican flag, and she was trying to like relate to the people, like, oh. But this comment, I was in stitches. This user just wrote underneath that, you know, he's like, girl, he used the B word, BITCH, can barely even pretend to speak Spanish. And yeah, here she is just like relating to the amigos. And there's another reason why it's also funny. And so I want you to love with me, irrespective of what you think, even if you're on the left and you just love the idea of, I don't know, mass illegal immigration. You have to acknowledge that celebrities in general, like their solution to problems are funny because regular people, it's knowing that she set up her phone to cry that really gets me because it disturbs me. It's like what I said last week. Celebrities don't know they're insane, right? They don't know. I don't know how much money has to be in your bank account before you trip over into the insanity. I don't know how much money you have to have before you start sending text messages about being Daenerys Targaryen and having little monster dragons. Like I need to know what that number is that hits in your account where then you're like, I'm just crazy. But I guess they're called eccentric because rich people are called eccentric, poor people are called crazy. But that level where they get to eccentric, where it's picturing her setting up for that makes me laugh, right? So you have a feeling coming on. Imagine you in your life, like something happens, I don't know, you start crying hysterically, like nobody grabs their cell phone. Think about the steps there, right? Oh, I'm sorry. My Instagram. My life. I'm so sorry. My life, is it going? Is it going? Okay, it's live. That's it. I'm so sorry. I don't know what is happening. It's weird.
Oh, we didn't see her crying as Biden's border crisis saw children drowning, crossing rivers to get to America.
Flashback.
Migrants in the Darien Gap trying to cross a swollen river because it's rainy season. This is very, very dangerous, and this is how a lot of the migrants get killed. As a matter of fact, at the end of this video, what you'll see after this woman gets pulled out of the water, there's a man right here who is trying to help her, who goes into the water and falls and is washed away by the raging river, never to be seen again.
We didn't see her crying as Biden's border crisis saw children drowning, crossing rivers to get to America, where children were trafficked in untold numbers. She didn't cry for the women murdered by illegal immigrants.
Welcome back to Fox and Friends. The White House responding to the now deleted viral video of actress Selena Gomez weeping over mass deportations. The administration posting a video featuring angel moms Patty Morin, Alexis Ngari, and Tammy Nobles. Watch this.
You don't know who you're crying for. What about our children who were brutally murdered and raped and beat to death and left on the floor by these illegal immigrants?
I just feel like it's a ruse to deceive people and to garner sympathy for lawlessness.
I wish I could do something, but I can't.
My daughter was a child. There's many other children whose lives were taken due to people who crossed here illegally.
They didn't cry for our daughters.
You didn't cry for our daughters. Well said. Here to discuss is Vice President of the National Border Patrol Council, Art Del Cueto. Art, I have to tell you, and I've interviewed many of these moms, other relatives associated with these children's deaths, and that's the exact reaction I had when I saw that video. Where was Selena Gomez when these children, when these women were brutally murdered?
You're absolutely right. And listen, not to sound insultive, but I had to look her up because I didn't really know whether she was an actress or a singer. And I apologize for that. But realistically, where was she? I mean, where were a lot of these actors? Look, it's insulting because I see a lot of these Latino actors and singers that live in the United States, California and Florida. They were doing the big outcry that said if President Trump wins, they were going to either move to Canada or Mexico. I haven't seen them pack their bags, but some of these individuals sure are doing a lot of these little videos to try to boost their ratings and get more likes. But the reality is, it's what it is. They're on a soapbox. They're looking for ratings. They really don't care about this country, and they don't care about the actual victims that have been brutalized by the illegal aliens that have come into this country.
We know that you've been doing your job, Art, because you don't know who Selena Gomez is. You've been on the job. That said, I have to give kudos to the administration, to the Trump administration, to their communications department for not letting that go by, to engaging in the culture, to calling Selena Gomez out directly for this, and using using the moms and their own words to counter that message. So I really give a lot of credit to the Trump administration for not just letting that go by and letting Hollywood and these actresses who have private security and face none of the issues that, say, a little Jocelyn Nangeri, a Mexican-American girl who just went to the corner store and ended up brutally raped and her body discarded under a bridge. It's just unbelievable.
So the president today stood alongside Laken Riley's mother, who gave emotional remarks as she honored her late daughter.
There's no amount of change that will ever bring back our precious Laken. Our hope moving forward is that her life saves lives.
Earlier today, I spoke with Alexis Nangeri. Her daughter, Jocelyn, 12 years old, was murdered by members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Agua last year. Alexis attended the signing ceremony at the White House today, and we spoke to her afterwards. Alexis Nangeri, thanks for being with us tonight here on the Hill. Appreciate it, Alexis. I can only imagine the emotions for you on this day, being in the White House, Laken Riley's mother there next to the president as the Laken Riley Act was signed into law. If you can, Alexis, what were those emotions like for you as it happened?
It was definitely bittersweet. You know, it's a tragedy that we have to be here in the first place, but it's so remarkable that we get to be here in honor of making change and doing something and protecting us as a nation and having more of a safety net as citizens. It was definitely surreal to be here.
I know you've spoken with President Trump in the past about your daughter, Jocelyn. What has he told you in the past, and how do you hope to keep her memory alive going forward?
He didn't come off to me as speaking to me like a president. He came off just like a normal person, like a human being who's a father, who has his own children, who couldn't put himself in my shoes because it's something that no one ever wants to think about. It's something no one can ever really put in grasp. So he was incredibly kind. He was incredibly kind and very humane, and just told me that he wished that this didn't happen because this shouldn't have happened to her, and that he was going to do everything he can to make change and to do better and to make sure that her memory and her legacy lives on.
Alexis, there is this national conversation that is taking place right now about immigration. We've seen illegal immigration, and we've seen the president's actions. Where do you think this conversation needs to head, and where would you like to see it head?
I would like for it to keep going in the way it's going. We are already making change. We are already having mass deportations happening, and it's a relief. It's a relief to see these flights going back with these individuals, because this should have happened years ago. These guys that took Jocelyn's life should have been on a flight just like that. And she'd still be here. But the fact that now we have someone in office who's actually going to make a difference and who actually speaks on his word and makes his promises happen, we need to keep happening, and we need to keep doing and going in the direction that we are going. We are going in a fantastic direction, and we need to get all of them out.
What is justice for your daughter? What is justice for Jocelyn?
Justice for Jocelyn would mean that we detain every illegal immigrant who comes here crossing the border illegally, committing a crime, that we don't allow people to just come here free will, that we actually properly vet everybody, and anyone who has any sort of record doesn't belong here. Justice would mean continuously activism and speaking out and speaking on the border security to make sure that this doesn't happen to any other children or families.
Alexis Nungary, the mother of Jocelyn Nungary, with us at the White House tonight there as the Laken Riley Act was signed into law. It is an honor to speak with you and meet you. Alexis, thanks for being with us tonight here on the Hill.
Thank you so much for your time.
I want to talk to you about this too, Art, because these mass deportations have gone are underway right now, and apparently people are warning illegals using TikTok about the raids so they can evade these raids. What do you know about this, and what can be done about that use of TikTok?
I think we just got to remain vigilant. Look, it's been happening for quite some time. Even the criminal cartels the last 4 years, they were using TikTok, they were using Instagram, they were using any means of social media to recruit kids, to help them smuggle, to help them, bring more people down to the border, supplies, whatever it may be. So it's not surprising. These groups are going to continue to utilize anything at their disposal in order to further their criminal, enterprises. It's something we've been seeing for quite some time. In fact, I think some of the intel guys within the different agencies should start monitoring those, and then try to counterattack and throw them off of where they're actually going to be.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Use TikTok to actually throw them off the scent and get them another way. For those who haven't seen these TikTok warnings, here's what it looks like.
Hey there, I am in search of Florida cute winter boots, 129. I do see that Orlando and Tampa have great cute winter boots.
Yesterday, there were spottings of ice cream trucks in Orlando at several different locations. I've heard some people say in Winter Park, I've heard some people say Boggy Creek, and I've heard some people say South John Young Parkway.
Okay, so what you see there is they're using these names. Winter boots is another name for ice, so that they don't get it's a code for it, right? Or ice cream trucks. Can ICE and other law enforcement do anything about this?
Look, you're not going to combat that. You're going to have these people that are going to just continuously go out there because they want to interrupt, the actual law enforcement that's out there. But it's winter boots, whatever names they're using. Look, I grew up on the border. I was used to hearing Chile Verdes every time you saw Border Patrol.
La migra. Absolutely. Art, listen, you are in a situation now where finally what you've been advocating for such a long time is finally happening. I just want to give you a last word before we close this interview on what you think Donald Trump has done so far.
Look, he first and foremost, he's put America first, and that's a big deal. It's just sickening that you're going to have individuals out there that are going to attack law enforcement and say, they're anti-immigrant, that they're racist. No one's anti-immigration. We're pro-immigration, but we need to be doing it the right way. There's a vetting system. We're anti-smuggling. We're anti-child trafficking. We're anti-drugs coming into our country. That's what we're anti. And first and foremost, we care about this country, just like President Trump has shown.
Yeah, he's pro-angel moms. It's about time. Thank you, Art Del Cueto.
Thank you.
But she filmed herself crying, and despite saying she'd do everything she could for those being deported, you know what she actually did? She deleted that video after her own fans trolled her for being a moron. But we must thank Selena for giving birth to so many funny memes and skits just this week, including this one from Tyler Fisher.
Guys, I'm sorry, but all my people are getting attacked. and rapists and murderers and criminals and drug dealers are getting rounded up and just kicked out of this country like they're objects. I'm sorry. Like one guy I know, he only raped 9 people.